What's the darkest thing a teacher ever did to you? My 8th grade math teacher, Mr. Rodriguez, had this twisted seating chart system that still gives me chills. Good students sat in the prestigious front rows, average kids got the middle section, and struggling students were banished to the back corner he literally called the dungeon. I started the year in the middle section, row 3, seat 4. But every single time I raised my hand to ask a question during lessons, he'd sigh dramatically, roll his eyes, and say, "We simply don't have time for remedial explanations in an advanced mathematics class," before instructing me to move one seat further back. By early October, I was sitting in the dungeon with 3 other forgotten kids. Marcus, who had severe ADHD and couldn't sit still. Jenny, whose immigrant parents didn't speak English and couldn't help with homework. And David, who was painfully shy and never spoke above a whisper. Mr. Rodriguez would literally turn his back to us during lessons, directing all instruction toward the front rows like we didn't exist. When concerned parents showed up at conferences, he'd dramatically pull out our test scores, spread them across his desk like evidence, and declare we were mathematically challenged and disruptive to the serious learning environment. He'd suggest we transfer to more appropriate classes. But here's what this arrogant man didn't know. My older sister Carmen was absolutely crushing AP Calculus at the high school. She was a math genius who'd been accepted to MIT early admission. She started helping me every single night at our cramped kitchen table. We'd work through complex problems for hours while our parents worked their second jobs. She taught me advanced shortcuts and techniques he never bothered showing the dungeon kids. I was actually becoming incredible at math, finally understanding concepts that had confused me for years. The life-changing turning point came during our crucial semester midterm exam. I studied obsessively for 3 straight weeks with Carmen coaching me. We practiced every possible type of problem that could appear on the test. I walked into that classroom feeling genuinely confident for the first time all year. When he handed back tests the following week, he orchestrated it like some sick award ceremony. He'd call names from front to back, lavishing praise on his favorites. Sarah, absolutely excellent work as always, 98%. Mike, tremendous solid improvement, B+, keep up the outstanding effort. Jessica, truly beautiful mathematical work, A-. Then his entire demeanor shifted when he reached the dungeon kids. His voice turned cold and condescending. And our back row students, well, let's just say some people simply aren't cut out for the rigorous demands of mathematics. Several front row kids actually snickered and exchanged knowing looks. He walked over to my desk and slapped my test down with obvious satisfaction and a cruel smirk. A massive red F was scrawled across the top in thick permanent marker, but I had meticulously checked every single problem before turning it in. I absolutely knew they were all correct. With a trembling hand, I raised it slowly. "Mr. Rodriguez, I think there might be a serious mistake on my—" The only mistake here was the guidance counselor placing you in advanced mathematics. Your mistakes are exactly what got you banished back there in the first place. But that night, I went through my entire test line by line with Carmen at our kitchen table. Every problem was completely right. Every calculation was absolutely perfect. Someone had deliberately changed my correct answers to wrong ones using noticeably different handwriting. The next day during lunch period, I snuck back to his empty classroom with my heart absolutely pounding. I carefully searched through his cluttered desk drawers. In the locked bottom drawer that was slightly open, I found the smoking gun. My original test with all the right answers still clearly visible underneath fresh eraser marks. Right next to it was a stack of blank grade sheets with all 4 dungeon kids' names already written on them in advance. I took multiple photos with my old phone and sprinted straight to the principal's office, breathless and shaking. My mom arrived an hour later with Carmen and our photo evidence. The principal's face turned completely white when she examined the undeniable proof of academic fraud. The next morning, the principal was waiting ominously in our math classroom when we arrived. Mr. Rodriguez tried desperately to act normal, but you could see the sheer panic flooding his eyes. By the end of that week, security escorted him out permanently. Turns out he'd been systematically failing dungeon kids for 3 consecutive years to artificially inflate his success rate and qualify for substantial teaching performance bonuses. 6 other families immediately came forward with identical stories. The district eventually paid massive settlements to affected students. I transferred to Mrs. Peterson's welcoming class and triumphantly ended the year with a solid A. Carmen always insisted I was naturally gifted at mathematics. I just desperately needed someone who actually wanted to teach me instead of destroy me.